Alright, this is the long-term review of the Nitro wall climber. I've had it now for about 4 years, and I'll go over some of the pros and cons of owning this piece of equipment here. One of the first things that I really want to point out here is the power module. They have a spot in the bottom of the dolly that you can store that in. I found out after many warranty repairs that's probably not your best place to store it. Seems that although it says it's waterproof, it really isn't. So I actually store that separately inside so I can avoid those issues with it. During my ownership of this, during the first 2 years of warranty, it actually went in for repair a total of 4 times. I was not very excited about that. I wasn't very hopeful of its long-term lasting, but it seems after 4 years that it's still functioning properly. Of those 4 repairs, a couple of them were for the power module down there, and a few of them were for the suction motors would not turn on, so the back wheels would drive and it would just kind of wheelie around in the pool, and it was very ineffective at that. Another thing here to point out is the cord. After many hours in the pool, it gets a little gummy. Now, that is a replaceable part, but I just don't see it's worth the cost on a product that could die any moment. Still functions though. You can definitely see that over the years it's discolored from being in the pool with the chlorine, but it still functions, and I think it's actually a pretty good value. As long as it's, gets these 4 years out of it, I definitely think it was worth the initial $500 I paid for it about 4 years ago. So I don't have much complaints there. Now, again, part of the wear and tear on this. Open up the compartment down here. This is where your bag that stores everything is. You can see in there it's actually still in pretty good shape. Now, one thing is, when I initially got it, it had felt in all 4 corners and all the flaps where the Velcro was. Even the Velcro there came off. That stops the debris from leaving the vacuum bag canister and keeps it a little more secure. Those have since kind of lost their effectiveness in the Velcro and have since washed away. Again, those parts aren't super expensive to replace directly from the Nitro pool cleaner, but I don't actually see it being much of an issue. You see the back brush here is actually in surprisingly pretty good condition. The foam's still there. It actually still functions as it did when it was new, which is pretty surprising considering the 4 warranty times in. The actual base unit with the dolly I store outdoors under an awning. You can see it's got some surface stress on it, but that's just cosmetic. It doesn't affect any operation. Overall, I'm very pleased with the unit I bought. I don't have any other units to compare it to, but I definitely think that in the future, if this one does go, I'll probably buy a more expensive one, maybe something that's a little bit better at scrubbing the walls. But for the most part, I really don't do much maintenance other than drop this in the pool a couple times a month, let it run for 1 or 2 cycles, and it seems to do a pretty good job. And it's also cut back on my amount of cleaning of my cartridge filter, because I think the filtration built into this system helps cut down on that. I hope you find this review helpful. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments.